Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Focus TV. Got Octavia Wyatt here, Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley Jr., I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr., and again, thank you for joining us this evening on The Focus. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. If you guys been keeping up with us since action has started, both in the bubble and the wubble, you know, we've had league updates every week. Octavia's had our NFL updates as they get closer to trying to start. Nobody knows if they're going to end up finishing what they started. They're going to go full MLB where it's a train wreck. And of course, this is the NFL we're talking about. So we're going to see how that goes, right? All right. So before we get started tonight, where we're going to get started tonight, Cardell, the NBA segment, where do you want to start, sir?
We got to start, obviously, with the hometown Wizards. I know. Bear with me. Just bear with me, man. Washington fell 0-3 in the current restart after losing to the Indiana Pacers 111-100 on Monday. Thomas Bryant led Washington with 20 points and 11 rebounds. Jerome Robinson and Shabazz Napier added 17 and 16 points off the bench, respectively. Indiana was led by, I don't even know what to put it, just dumb hot TJ Warren, who's right now putting up a 30-piece on the Orlando Magic. And just a couple days ago, dropped a career high of 53 points on the 76ers. He put 34 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists on 14-26 shooting on the Wizards last night. Malcolm Brogdon and Aaron Holiday added 20 and 17 points. The Pacers also played without Victor Oladipo. The Pacers shot slightly better from the field. They shot about 47.8% to the Wizards 43.6%. But Indiana won the game shooting 16 of 16 from the free throw line and dominating the paint, outscoring Washington 62-44 inside. The game was close late in the third quarter with Washington cutting the Pacers lead to 2, 68-66 with 5:25 left in the period. But Indiana responded with a Miles Turner dunk. And then TJ Warren went on a solo 8-0 run to push the lead back up to double digits, and Washington never recovered. Scott Brooks said, "I just like the effort. I just like the fight. We were down. We were playing hard in the first half. They went on that 18-2, 22 run, and we tried everything. Couldn't get anything to go for us, and they didn't give up. They cut it to 7 late in the game, but it's a great group to coach." Bottom line, he just saying, development is still ongoing, and they're competing. But it is what it is, man. Talent means a lot right now, and they ain't got the talent to get over the hump. Washington will face the 76ers as a whole. They don't. Washington will face the 76ers Wednesday at 4 p.m. on NBA TV. Just some other news from around the league. Toronto beat Miami 107-103 behind Fred VanVleet's career-high 36 points. Michael Porter Jr. posted a career-high 37 points, and Nikola Jokic finished with 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists to lead Denver to a 121-113 win over OKC. Brandon Ingram, Zion Williams combined for 47 points and 14 rebounds to push the Pelicans past Memphis 109-99. 76ers guard Shake Milton hit a go-ahead three-pointer to help the 76ers defeat the Spurs 32-130. And Anthony Davis dominated with 42 points and 12 rebounds as LA knocked off Utah 116-108.
Yeah, so from here on out with TJ, that's Tony Warren Jr. I never wanted to know that man's name, and I found out that at this point, he's done told the league to put respect on his name. That is Tony Warren Jr. from here on forward. And how about that? A second-round pick and cash considerations. It's all it cost.
But Wilson, we kind of familiar with it. Didn't he come in here in DC and give Warren Bill and won the game a couple years ago? Gave them work here and won the game.
I believe he did. Yeah, he didn't do a lot of damage from beyond the arc. Just a whole bucket, two-way player. One of those wings Ray and I were talking about the other night that are also great to talk about. Very, very even more harder to find and acquire. Phoenix, but he's in Indiana, and yeah, Tony Warren Jr. That's, like I said, I can't call him TJ from here on out. 54, 40-something, 30-something.
Look, man. His mama named him TJ. That's what they call him. So I'm going
to call him TJ.
Mama and them call him TJ, so.
Maybe that's where they were wrong. Jeez, he's acting a fool. But yeah, it's been fun, man. And I think what against the Wizards, I only think he hit 1 3. So he's 14 to 26 from the field, like the quote unquote the old fashioned way of getting the bucket.
He killing all that analytics stuff. He killing all the analytic narrative crap. Like, hell with that.
You mean 2 plus 2 plus 2? Man.
Hey,
like if you collect
maybe
all about equal numbers, it's interesting.
Right. I mean, like if you hit enough of these shots, they go in enough. It puts points on the board eventually. So go ahead. I mean, it is what it is.
Man, we could talk the whole show about that.
He gets the ball to the 3-point line. I was like, oh, there's someone here. Wait, look over yonder, 5 feet in. There's open space. I like it here. But nah, he's been acting a fool. But Cardell and I took our time last week on NBA Outlook to discuss our regular season awards and, our all NBA teams, all of that good stuff. So the hot seat, welcome Octavia and Raymond. Which one of y'all want to go first? And I'll shout out the title and then y'all just got to answer. But I want to ask who wants to go first. Be fair here, right?
I'm gonna be a gentleman. Ladies first.
Oh wow!
Coming.
That's so kind of you. All right, so Octavia, first off, we would like to know your MVP for this season.
I mean, is there any other answer than Giannis Antetokounmpo, like saying his last name? I mean,
good job.
There's so much noise about it being so close with him, between him and LeBron. I don't see it. I mean, he leads in everything except for assist and 3-point shooting, I believe, when it comes down to it with them two. So I guess everybody's hyped because the Lakers are back in the playoffs, but Giannis been doing this, and he got my vote. If I had a ballot,
that's fair enough. All right, now for your defensive player of the year.
It's the first name I just said, that same name again. Yeah, Giannis.
It's popular around these parts.
And you know how I feel about defense. I mean, he guards all 5 positions. He doesn't take a play off. He has a high motor. He's always had a high motor. I mean, the number one, to me, when it's close, if you want to say it's close, it's between him and somebody else, show me the records. Show me who's winning, who's doing what. They win, and he puts points on the board, and he plays defense. He does everything. He can guard all 5 positions. He's freakishly tall, long, athletic. Yeah, Giannis.
All right. Most improved.
Most improved. I really like Brandon Ingram.
Okay.
And it's a little bit different because I won't even say he improved that much, but he got more of a chance to shine and he didn't disappoint. Because I always felt like Brandon Ingram was good, but he's kind of been in the shadows, playing with that other guy for a while. And now that he's out where he can really be him, I feel like he showed it. I mean, they said one thing about his improvement is that, it really started with his feet. His coach put the footprints on the floor, so he knew that his feet need to face towards the basket when he shoots. At a lot of times, he would get the ball and his feet would be pointing to the left or to the right. So they said that really helped him, and to know that he can take direction like that, and he's been good all year, So yeah, I definitely like Ingram.
All right, now lastly, your 6th man of the year and the coach of the year, and then we'll go on to Raymond.
You gonna ask me? Are we doing rookie of the year? I just had that.
We're gonna get there in a little.
Gotcha. All right, cool. So 6th man of the year, it goes to a Clipper. That's not Lou Will this time, but I like Montrezl Harrell. I just feel like he gives them so much energy off the bench that they need. He has that tenacity. He wants to be there, so he always gives them that great spark. It's not that Lou doesn't anymore. It's just that now that they have more offense, Lou's impact doesn't hit you as hard as it would before. So it was such a clear case. Now they got Paul George, they got Kawhi, so they got a lot of that type of tenacity and offensive power. But Montrez does it. He's that hype player. He comes in and he gives you a spark right off. A lot of times, just his energy and how he plays, you can see how they feed off of him. So I really like Harold for the Sixth Man of the Year.
All right, Coach of the Year, and then as you said, Rookie of the Year.
Okay, Coach of the Year. I was a little torn between two, and probably not the two because I believe they named them, but whatever. I went with Billy Donovan, because to me, like, everybody thought that they would be nothing this year. Losing Russ, losing Paul, Chris Paul out there on an island by himself is what they kept saying. Andre Roberson got hurt. He was out for a while. But I've always been really high on Steven Adams and Chris Paul, and it just shows how much of a leader Chris Paul is. And Billy Donovan, to me, although he's been a head coach for a while now, I still see him from his college days. I don't know why. I just always get that in my brain. But to see how he can still reach grown men, because a lot of times being a college coach, you're coaching kids. He's still able to get these grown men to buy into the system and buy into what he's talking about. And then you have Chris Paul, who obviously is going to echo that if he agrees with it. So I just think that them ending up being 41-25, 6 in the West before, the league shut down, was amazing because it's the West. Like, the West is always going to be tough. There's so many great teams out there in the West. So for them to be right in the thick of things, I had to go with Billy. But Nick Nurse was a close second for me. But I just don't feel like they had that much of a drop off that the Thunder was expected to have.
And your Rookie of the Year before Raymond knocks his list out.
Rookie of the Year for me is Ja Morant. I love Ja Morant. I love him. I can't even explain it. It's just how hard he plays. Like, even the last game I watched him play, he had a horrible game. But he keeps going. Like, you can see that he doesn't get down on himself when things aren't going right. He continues, like, he knows how well of a player he is. He knows that it's going to eventually cut on. Like, that game, it didn't. He had a really bad game, but it did not stop him from shooting good shots, because a lot of his shots were good shots. They just didn't fall. It just wasn't his night. But he averaged 17.7 points, 3.7 rebounds, 7 assists on a Grizzly team that hopefully they're able to keep their spot as number 8. They just got some devastating news with Jaren Jackson Jr. going down with the MCL sprain tear. So that's going to be rough for them. So, but I hope they can do it. I just love Ja. He's a great all-around player. He has crazy athleticism. He's going to be good for a long time.
All right, Ray.
He's supplying the Melo.
You said what?
He's supplying the Melo. Yours?
No, he's getting there. But I like Ja. I like Ja. They give me. Yeah, I like Ja.
2020 code.
Oh no, but Melo is still first. Come on, guys.
Hey, 2020
retire.
You would have.
I was like, there was a lot of love behind Ja Morant.
No, man, I really do like him though. But as soon as the show over, I'm gonna be at my TV at 9:00 when they play. Who they play? The Trailblazers play tonight.
Got who the man played and everything. Ja got you hooked. God damn.
Because I don't care who they play against. I just want them to win.
It's a sad day. It's a sad day. Melo just falling by the wayside. And he went and became Slim Melo, and that's how you doing him. All right, Ray, MVP.
That dude up in Cheese Country, man, Giannis. I think it's clear cut. Just based on what Milwaukee has done and his impact and contributions to that team. He's there, basically there, do it all on offense. He's even improved some facets of his game. He's got his 3-point shot as to where it's respectable, and you have to honor it. And that just puts people in a bad spot, because for a fact if you try to go out there and challenge, he's going to get past you and go to the rim. and finish strong. But yeah, most dominant player in the league. Milwaukee got the best record in the league. I think this is a no-brainer.
All right, defensive player of the year, sir.
I went Anthony Davis right here. You know, he has had a tremendous impact on that Lakers defense. They have the third best defensive rating in the league. I know it's not totally him because they added Avery Bradley as well. Danny Green's also a capable defender, but you know Anthony Davis allows them to do so much more things. His versatility, just what he brings to them. He challenges at the rim. You know, he switches off picks and takes on guards on the perimeter and does an extremely good job at that. So, yeah, just based on those attributes, he get my vote.
All right, most improved and sixth man of the year.
Most improved, I went Brandon Ingram as well. You know, just to see what he's able to do when he has a lot more on his shoulders. You know, like Octavia made a good point. You know, I always felt he was capable of this, just didn't have the opportunity to show it. And it's good to see, you know, people when they're put in a position to show their skills that they actually show them and respond in that way. And he has improved some parts of his game as well, like his mid range, his back to the basket, his ball handling. He's just growing and blossoming as a player. And people, like, it seems like he's been in the league longer than what he has. You know, he's still really, really young. So, and he's made a tremendous leap this year. So I felt like that should be rewarded.
All right, sixth man of the year and coach of the year. I'm sorry,
Sixth man.
coach of the year, rookie of the year. I'm sorry, these lists are kicking my behind. Coach of the year, rookie of the year. Gotcha.
Coach of the year was a tough decision for me as well, but I went Nick Nurse. You know, for a lot of the same reasons that someone would have chosen Billy Donovan. And I don't understand. Me and Wilson, you talked about it. You know, how people are discounting teams with championship pedigree. You know, I understand they lost Kawhi, and that's a huge deal. But they got pieces, you know. And when you got a guy like Siakam coming off the season he had, and when you lose Kawhi, it just pushes him into a position where he can just kind of unleash himself, you know. And then you still got the experience of Kyle Lowry, and the younger guys have been stepping up. And they had some injury issues this year. And, you know, Nick Nurse, just the way he's able to navigate this whole situation with expectations or lack thereof based on, you know, who's not there anymore. But, I mean, he's kept them playing at a high level. He's kept them on the task at hand. They're the number 2 seed in the East. You know, and it was hard to go against Billy Donovan because of what he's able to accomplish this season at OKC. But yeah, Nick Nurse gets my pick.
All right, rookie of the year.
Also went with Ja Morant. You know, the only reason why I went with him, Zion just wasn't around enough this year. You know, had Zion been there from the beginning of the season, who knows what this would have looked like, especially seeing what Zion was able to do with the short time he had. But yeah, just Ja put the whole body of work together, and he lived up to the expectations. You know, it's kind of looking a little bit like Murray State out there for him. You know, so and kudos to him, and yeah, he gets my vote for rookie of the year.
All right, for the teams, we're just gonna go a little bit quicker with that one because we just listed names. But we can start all NBA third team. Octavia, you can go first, and Ray, and we'll go like that.
All right, all NBA third team. I got Rudy Gobert, Pascal Siakam, Jimmy Butler, Jaylen Brown, and Chris Middleton.
Ray.
Third team, I got Rudy Gobert, Jimmy Butler, Jaylen Brown, Chris Middleton, and Kyle Lowry.
All right, all NBA second team. Ray, you're first this time.
Second team, I have Nikola Jokic, Pascal Siakam, Kawhi Leonard, Chris Paul, and Damian Lillard.
Octavia.
Okay, I got Chris Paul, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, and Nikola Jokic.
All right, Octavia, All NBA first team.
All NBA first team, I got LeBron James, James Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, and Anthony Davis.
Ray.
First team, I got LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis, James Harden, and Luka Doncic.
All right, here comes some of the fun stuff. All defensive first and second teams. We'll start with the all defensive second team. Ray, you can go first on this one.
Okay, second team, I went Drew Holiday, Ben Simmons, Kawhi Leonard, PJ Tucker, and Brooke Lopez.
Octavia.
Okay, for second team, I went Ben Simmons, Pat Beverly, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Lopez.
All right, all defensive first team, Octavia.
All defensive first team, I went with Rudy Gobert, Marcus Smart, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, and Anthony Davis.
Ray, your all defensive first team.
All right, I got Marcus Smart, Jimmy Butler, Giannis, Anthony Davis, and Rudy Gobert.
All right, last two teams, and everyone gets to take a quick break. All right, all rookie second team. Ray, you could go first.
Second team, Kobe White, Tyler Hero, Brandon Clark, PJ Washington, and RJ Barrett.
Octavia, your all rookie second team.
I have PJ Washington, Tyler Hero, Kobe White, Terrence Davis, and Rui Hachimura. Right. I can't even say his last name. Hachimura. There we go.
All rookie first team for you, Octavia.
I got John Morant, Zion Williamson, Brandon Clark, Kendrick Nunn, and Eric Pascal.
And for you, Ray, your all rookie team, first team, that is.
All right. Got John Morant, Kendrick Nunn, Eric Pascal, Zion Williamson, and Rui Hachimura.
All right. With that, we're going to take a very quick break. And when we get back, little WNBA coming up. We got some NFL coming up. Cardell is debuting yet another issue. It's all right, man. I know you can smile about that extra work being put in about that, man. Hey, you're watching the Focus TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Focus TV. As promised, WNBA is coming up. So, Ray, what you got for us this week?
Oh, man. They're still trucking along. Just a couple national things. The initial Conference Player of the Week awards have been sent out. Maisha Hines-Allen of the Mystics and Breanna Stewart for the Seattle Storm were the recipients. Well deserved. If you've been watching WNBA, then you can see why they won these awards. Maisha Hines-Allen, just a big surprise out the gate for a lot of people. I mean, but, I remember what she did at Louisville. And, she just been in a situation since she's been in the WNBA where, people have been in front of her. But she's definitely taken advantage of her opportunity here. And Breanna Stewart, she's back like she never left. Like, you would never know that she had an Achilles injury. She's killing. She's moving well. And man, at times she looks like she's more athletic than she was pre-injury. So, but yeah, just looking forward to those two to continue rolling. Both led their teams to 3-1 records over the first week. And Seattle is actually in action tonight against Connecticut, and the Mystics return to action tomorrow playing Las Vegas. Couple teams got some help in their backcourt. Sydney Colson rejoined the Sky after her quarantine period, and Courtney Williams also joined the Atlanta Dream. Her and Kennedy Carter is going to be a show all season. They're actually in action tonight. They're up on the Phoenix Mercury 53-47. About to be the third quarter actually just ended. Little injury news. Sabrina Ionescu They're saying she's going to be out for about a month with a grade 3 ankle sprain. Looking at that injury in real time, I thought it was going to be way worse. I'm glad it was just a sprain because that, man, anybody that's ever hooped before knows what that feel like. Like her ankle was on touch earth. Like it looked really, really bad. So, glad that situation is what it is, and she'll be back at some point this season. Sue Bird also dealing with some injuries. She's got a bone bruise in her left knee. She says she's just taking it day to day. She's not trying to force anything, especially with this condensed schedule. Like, and a bone bruise isn't the type of thing you can just continue to play on and, it'll get better. So she's just taking her time, resting. She's 39 years old. She knows how this works. She's listening to her body and not going to, overexert herself or put herself in a position for any setbacks. But Seattle's in good hands without her. They got Jordan Canada, Drew Lloyd kind of fill in until she gets 100%. The Liberty and the Sun, they're the only winless teams in the league at this point. And we know what it is when New York, Wilson, me and you talk about it pretty much every time they play, just a whole lot of youth, and they just got to figure their situation out. It's progressing. Of course, the Brainer going down is a big setback for them, but it just gives other people to get some reps, a chance to get some reps in, which is always good. And Connecticut, they're just going through it. I think me, you, and Cardell talked about it on was that last Saturday for the WNBA Outlook show, just how depleted they are, and on the surface, when you think about it, you really only notice Jonquil and Courtney being out. But, when you outline everything that they lost, like it's tough. Kurt Miller's got a hell of a task on his hands to kind of right that ship this year. And few surprises. Phoenix, their slow start does surprise me. I know they lost DB and they added some new things, but I would have figured that the talent and experience would kind of help them ease that curve a little bit. But they've been rocky out the gate, just kind of up and down. They haven't been able to string together some consecutive good performances yet. But that's just a project in motion at this point. And the Aces, they're coming into the season, look as one of those teams that's expected to compete for a title. They're 2-2, but the two they lost were within their grasp. So they're not an old team, but they've seen some things at this point, and of course they're missing Cambage, but they got Asia Wilson and McCarthy's come in and just is doing what she does. I just expect them to kind of get things rolling eventually. But, right now they're just in the middle of the pack. It's only 4 games in, nothing to get too up or down about. So, just going to keep an eye on that situation throughout the season as well.
All right, Octavia, your league. What's happening this week? Go ahead. Sorry.
Real quick, Wilson, about Ionescu. I know a lot of people saying she's gonna be back in a month. If that's a real grade 3 ankle injury, she's not coming back in a month, because I had that in college. I didn't know I had it, but I had that in college, and that's a full tear of the ligament in the ankle. That takes about 7 months to a year to get back. So I'm not sure. I don't know. Wow. I'm not trying. Yeah, that's the one that I had that injury. I just ain't realized it till my pops made me shut it down because it swelled up. Like my ankle looked like Sherman Klump ankle. And another professor. And I'm not the biggest, like a fat dude or something like that. So that's what scared them. And then that's when I got the MRI and they showed them like my ankle was tore up. Like and they was like, you probably was playing on it all season. So I don't see her coming back if it is a grade 3, or that's just, maybe she didn't get a second opinion. Maybe they had something different, but you can't come back off a grade 3 in a month. That's just, that ain't gonna happen, man. And if it is that's a hell of a way to end on rookie season, but nah, that's probably some surgery, and she not come back till next season. We'll see though.
Oh wow.
Nah, I appreciate that though, because that's one of the things. Sometimes we get these timelines from teams, and sometimes,
always get a second opinion.
Yeah,
Always get a
that
second
initial
opinion, man. The teams work. They got their best interests at heart for their team, for their organization. That ain't got nothing to do. I mean, think about how much she's driving that franchise, being the number one pick, the hype machine she has behind her, and all that. Hell yeah, they wanted to play. There's a lot of money invested in that. But she got to do what's best for her. So hell no, man. Get that second opinion and roll with that.
Man, Kawhi Leonard is the blueprint for that.
Exactly.
You ain't lying.
Yeah.
He was like, nah.
All right, Octavia, your league, what y'all been up to this week?
I'm gonna keep it short and simple this week. Not too much has changed from last week, except more players have opted out. As of Monday night, 45 players have opted out of the league this year due to COVID-19 precautions. Players have until 4 p.m. So I know last week that it was supposed to be a week from the date that they signed. So it technically should have been yesterday, but they extended it, and now it is up until Friday at 4 p.m. is when players have until to decide if they're going to opt out or not. So hopefully by this time next week, we'll have a clear-cut list done of who's opting out and who's doing what. But as of now, they still have the option to figure it out. Couple other COVID things. My coach, Doug Peterson, as well as our right tackle, Lane Johnson, both tested positive for COVID. Doug Peterson did say he was asymptomatic. He didn't have any symptoms. He felt good. He didn't feel tired or lethargic or anything. But he is quarantining, and he's having to run practices via Zoom and Skype and all those other things, which I'm sure, as from the interview that he gave, he's glad that if it happened now when they're so early into it and not so deep into the training camp and so deep into the season that it would make a bigger issue. It's not really too much, there are some people have some false positives, like Stafford got put on the COVID list for a false positive test. So they're still running through tests. They're still trying to figure out. All teams are at training camp, everybody's talking about everything that's happening. Cam Newton in the Patriots jersey, he had his first, picture and everything. So that's actually real. He's actually really a Patriot, if you didn't know. On to some actual football news. Like Wilson liked to remind me when we got on today, former Washington Redskin Jordan Reed has now joined the 49ers. He's on a 1-year deal, heavy on the incentives based off of what he does during the season. Like I said, his biggest issue to me is just staying healthy. He missed all of last season due to a concussion. So he missed the entire season due to one concussion, and he's had at least 7 concussions in the time he's played football from college on up. So I hope he's very, very careful. I'm pretty sure the 49ers did their due diligence and, got all the medical things checked out, but you can't really prepare for him getting hit in the head. It happens, unfortunately, and with him, it happening so regularly. I'm interested to see how this actually works out if we get a whole season, of course. Another quick thing, probably the last quick thing, Antonio Brown has received an 8-game suspension after they finally finished his grievance with the league. And there is great interest in him, I guess. The 2 teams that are interested, Pete Carroll did come out and said the Seahawks are interested in AB. It seems like they like to help players rebuild themselves. They're also waiting for Josh Gordon to get reinstated as well. They have a lot of wide receivers out there. They still got Tyler Lockett. They got DK Metcalf, unless they want to go ahead and send him over to us, since Marquise Goodwin is out and we are down a wide receiver. Please send us DK Metcalf. I would love it. But outside of the Seahawks, the Ravens.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, I believe in the draft for one DK Metcalf. I believe y'all had a chance to take a DK, correct?
I know that. That's why we want to do over.
So why would they send it to you?
JJ, they go.
Oh,
That happened already. We on to a new year. We gonna give them JJ Arthego Whiteside, and they go ahead and give us DK. That's just my dream, guys. Okay, just let me have that for a second. But not just the Seahawks, the Ravens as well, or at least let Lamar Jackson say it. Lamar Jackson wants the Ravens to sign Antonio Brown as well. I've always been a huge, not huge, I've always been a fan of First Take. So when I watch ESPN in the morning, that's usually the show that I watch. I just like to hear them banter and hear what they say. And they went on for it today, trying to figure out which team they feel like will be the best. I don't know who can handle AB, if AB can even handle himself. So we'll see if he lands up anywhere and where that place will be.
Let that man stay where he's at. Yeah, I don't think he can.
Nowhere near Colorado.
Yeah. The Bay is closed.
Yeah.
The Bay is closed. It is all the way closed. But we're gonna take our second break tonight.
Everybody
before doing facts, our building is at capacity. There's no more room. So where we at?
Yes.
6 feet, knocking walls down. One more person just messed the whole thing up. All right, so Jamal Hayward's back this week as always. 9-450 breakdown. This week he's breaking down L cuts and options off it. Again, L cuts and options off it. Go ahead and check this week's installment of 9-450 out. Have a break on the other side of that, and we'll see you guys in just a little bit.
Let's put one shot. One out. Okay? Turn back inside. Coming back. Okay? That's right. Shot. Okay? Third arm. Here. Here. Right, left. Shot. Okay? Go. 1, 2. Shot. Take one. Shot. Third one. Shot. Got it? Go. I want you guys to lift it up. Okay? You don't have to do one. Lift it up. Let's put one shot. One out. Okay? Turn back inside. Coming back. Okay? That's right. Shot. Okay? Third arm. Here. Here. Right, left. Shot. Okay? Go. 1, 2. Shot. Take one. Shot. Third one. Shot. Got it? Go. I want you guys to lift it up. Okay? You don't have to do one. Lift it up.
Welcome back to the Focus TV, and as always, truly appreciate Jamal Hayward knocking these out each and every week. All right, Cardell, latest issue of Finest Magazine. What was yours, sir?
I appreciate it. It's just a preview of the WNBA in 2020 season. We do this every year, every summer. My fellow Focus co-host Wilson Tarpe, he takes one conference, I take the other conference, and we just try to thoroughly break down each team throughout the league, and try to just while we're kind of analyzing each team, we also try to educate a lot of people because we understand that a lot of people don't pay attention to the WNBA like they should. I don't see why this is still a problem. Obviously, this during the pandemic might have been a good thing for them in the sense that it forced people to pay attention. You see more and more people, probably all-time record high, pay attention to what these ladies are doing. It's some quality basketball. It's actually, as usual, been more competitive than the men. But that's what the issue is all about. I try to do it every summer. Just give a thorough breakdown of the WNBA, and a lot of always get positive feedback about it. So that's what it's about for this summer.
All right, folks. As always, get over to finestmag.com. Get over to mymonosports.com. Also, Focus TV on all your mediums. That will give you directions and keep you guys updated with what we have going on. We're busy. That's why almost everybody looks tired. I know that's why I look tired. There's more stuff to be done tonight. So y'all just got to get over this. I don't need anybody telling me I'm tired. I know that. I'm aware of it. It's going to be like this for a while. Cool. On the rapid fire.
Larry Bird resigned as Pacers president in 2017, citing a desire to do more things outside basketball. Yet, it was also reportedly another reason. Jackie Mack of ESPN said Indiana's a small market team that consistently has not gone out and paid big money. We know that this was something that frustrated Larry Bird, who is a legend in the state of Indiana and elsewhere, I might add. It frustrated him enough that he stepped aside. We all know Pacers owner Herb Simon has a certain way of doing things. Indiana hasn't paid the luxury tax since, get this, 2006. Sheesh. The first year the tax line was set before the season. I mean, wow, that's crazy. But despite that, the Pacers have been pretty good. They've qualified for the playoffs 9 of the last 10 seasons, peaking with appearances in the 2013-2014 Eastern Conference Finals. Still, Indiana has lost in the first round for 4 straight years. Another first-round loss also appears the most likely outcome for the season. But if TJ Warren keep playing the way he is, and I don't know about that, he might be some upsets going down. But he might take people out by himself. And we all know that's what Paul George hinted at, on a, podcast with the Nuggets is the reason, he had guys set up ready to come to Indiana and they won't pay him. They told him one thing and did another, and that's what frustrated Paul George. So what are your thoughts on this news? We can start with you, Octavia.
I would say I'm surprised because I didn't know all those statistics, but I mean, I don't kind of blame him. He was there for a long time, and if he's not getting, the things that he thinks he should be putting in place for them, and like you just said, Paul George basically echoed this sentiment before. Then I paid a luxury tax since I graduated high school. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, college.
Like that's crazy. But at the same time, it kind of makes sense to me because outside of Paul George and Victor, you haven't really seen like big name players in Indiana. Nobody, and if it's because of, like you said, Paul George was lining up people to come, but they won't pay him. Why would people want to if they're not feeling they're going to get paid their worth? So I kind of don't blame him. I feel like he was there for a long time. He probably tried to do things and they probably was like, no, we don't want to do that. We want to do this. And at some point, it's kind of insane doing the same thing over and over and looking for different results. If they're telling you what they're going to do and it's not changing, you got to remove yourself from the situation. So I think this sheds more light on why he left, because just saying that he wanted to do other things outside of basketball, like what, Larry Bird? What else are you going to do? I'm not saying he can't do anything else. But what else are you going to do? Like, you're Larry Bird. Like, you have to do basketball. That makes no sense. So hopefully he's able to get maybe somewhere in another position and do the things. Because you can tell that he's that type of guy. Like, he wants to win one in that level. And I can only imagine how frustrating it was not being able to. So we'll see, I guess.
Go ahead, Raymond.
But before I get into this question, a little sidebar: has Larry Bird had the best player to coach the executive transition ever?
Has he had that, or you say is he that?
Has he? I mean, he's been pretty successful at all three, right?
Nah, I'm gonna get that to. Oh, you mean like coaching or go to the front office? I thought Jerry West was, because he's won multiple ships.
Yeah.
Played with.
Forgot about Jerry West.
Yeah, he won many, and he behind the Clippers resurgence right now. He was with the Warriors when KD and this is Jerry West, man. He drafted Kobe. He done some things. He done some things. I'm just saying.
There's got to be him. But did he coach?
He coached a little bit, but he got tired of it. He went up in the front office, then got Magic on him. Then you know what happened in the '80s.
Right. Yeah, I was only thinking about the coaching thing because Larry had an extended coaching career. But yeah. To the question, it's I can see why he would give that flimsy reasoning, because he doesn't want to come out and badmouth the team. But it's obvious, based on, like Octavia said, like who has been in Indiana, and I don't even think they were expecting Paul George to become what he became. Like, so yeah. It's obvious they're on the cheap here, especially when not paying the luxury tax in damn near 15 years. Like, that's crazy to me. And you're not gonna compete in the league today without spending money. That just is what it is, especially with these paychecks that's going around here. Guys averaging 11 points, getting these monstrous contracts. Like, if you're not going to pay, you're not even going to get those guys. So, I mean, yeah. And it was probably just too stressful for him. He's getting up there in age. Like, I don't need this. I'm Larry Bird. Y'all can go ahead and keep spending pennies and losing, and I'll just go on about my life. So, I mean, it's not surprising. It makes total sense. I just think he was taking a high road and not saying, I'm getting up out of here because these people are not changing with the times, and it is not worth my stress.
Go ahead, Wilson.
He's a winner. He wanted to win. They're losers. He didn't want to be there anymore. Paul George would tell the truth. Like, for many of the reasons you guys shared, you have to spend money to compete. If Paul George is out here, and we know what the league is right now. If you get a good player, usually they'll probably try to get their buddies to come through too, right? If you're willing to spend, got a chance to do things like that or what have you. I mean, look, man, like Octavia said, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, insanity. I'd leave too. Like, clearly the ownership's not changing their take on what they're willing to spend, right? Like, that literally explains why there's almost been a cap on their level of success this entire time. If you haven't flirted with the luxury tax since 2006, that's crazy. It explains it all. So now we sitting here looking around, somebody, Mr. Warren's driving his price up, interested to see how things go.
And they got to try to re-sign Oladipo soon.
Yeah, that too. In 2021, yeah, for sure. But my take on this, that a lot of fans don't realize that it's not the players sometimes or the coaches that make teams lose. It's the front office.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I probably put more onus on the front office because, I mean, just look at the track record of a lot of teams. They're on the verge of winning, or they won. Owners blow it up because they don't want to pay, and they think it's that simple where they could just replace certain players, plug in certain players, and it could just happen again. And it's not that simple. You know what I'm saying? Chemistry is a delicate thing, and it's a powerful thing. So if you don't have that, it's hard to win. You know, Larry Bird was the coach, like Raymond said. Obviously, you know, he was in the last dance. He was the coach of the Pacers that was going to war with those Bulls teams, the Knicks teams that made it to the finals during the lockout year with Kobe and Shaq in LA, and they was always right there. Then he stepped down because he always said he wasn't going to coach but for so long, and went into the front office as a director of basketball operations in '03. And we all know they had some great teams. Like everybody kind of think of the Paul George, the Danny Granger, Roy Hibbert, David West, those teams that was battling LeBron and those guys in Miami. But even going back to Ron Artest and Steven Jackson and that mob, I really believe had it not been for that, with Jermaine O'Neal, had it not been for that brawl, they would have won a championship because they had Detroit's number. They was dumb loaded. Like nobody was messing with them. They was stupid. And like, they was loaded, but the brawl got them suspended and they never quite recovered. You know, I mean, he even made it work with Isaiah Thomas as the coach, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how much he wanted to win. You know what I mean? So for you not to even invest and meet him halfway and just give certain players, I mean, no disrespect, Larry Bird he's obviously one of the greatest to ever do it, but he's no nonsense. Like, he don't play games. So if I think he's advocating like we need to pay this guy, you might want to pay the guy because he ain't gonna just do that for anybody. So I'm just saying, he old school to the floor. So if he says it's worth it, all right, cool, Bert, cool. Larry, go ahead, cut the check. You know, let's keep it moving. It's simple as that. So, 06, dog, was in my senior year in college, dog. Like, you really don't want to win, man. Like, it's no chance in hell. I mean, man, in the shoe. You know, I mean, look, Nate McMillan need coach of the year, man. You working with that? Hey, bro, like that is right there when I read that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I hope they develop players
Crazy.
in the draft or something.
But
So
like,
you
that's
know
the
how
thing.
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, like, even then, if they develop them and they get too good, are they gonna pay to keep them?
What are
It
they
ain't even
saving the money
the
for?
front office. It's the owner, but he got the final say. It's like, yeah.
Are you gonna cut the check? Like, that's absurd. Like, you can develop as many as you want to, but if you don't ever cut the check, you're always gonna do what's best for your bottom line or whatever. And look, man, I don't know.
Man, you know what's best for your bottom line?
Winning.
Winning is best for your bottom line. Like,
but here's the thing, but if they lose, but if they keep losing, he gonna be quick to fire the GM, the coach, and get players traded, and it's him. We see that happen across all sports. So you wonder why certain people say, "How come this coach don't have a job?" Look what they know. It's not many good options out there sometimes. That's looking for a coach, and it's a reason why certain teams are always looking for a coach. You gotta look at that too. So why would I put myself in that environment, in that bad situation?
You are right about that.
All right,
team's always looking for a coach.
Last question. It's about that time of the year, man. The Lakers clinched the #1 seed in the Western Conference, and reportedly by Tanir Ganguli of the Los Angeles Times, LeBron James said, "They said I couldn't do it. I'll enjoy this one," nodding as he grinned. "They said I can't do it." The Lakers entered the season 5th in the West and over/under wins behind the Rockets, Clippers, Jazz, and Nuggets. But nobody obviously thought the Lakers couldn't get the #1 seed with LeBron and Anthony Davis. The Lakers obviously had that type of talent on their team. What are your thoughts on him feeling like, you know, clinching #1 seed, and you like they said I couldn't do it, you know, he feel like he proved people wrong. Let's start with you, Raymond.
Like this dude got a chemical imbalance or something, man. Like, how are you still insecure at this point? Like, dog, come on, man. But if we want to be real about this, what we said you couldn't do, you didn't do last year when you said playoff mode activated, then went 3-12 and shut it down for the season. That was the chance to show, all right, man, I don't care about the West. I'm gonna go out here and boogie and get it done. Like, I actually hope they win for his sanity, because he gonna be on suicide watch. Because, man, like, dude, Grow up, man. Like, grow up, dog. You're not even the best player of your team no more.
Oh shit!
Like, come on, man. Like,
His IG is Lions. Hoop realist. You can contact him. Like these eyewitnesses, leave me
He's coming for
alone.
you.
holler at me.
I'm too tired.
Hoops realist
You gonna get
on
cussed out. I'm
Twitter,
letting y'all know now. It's gonna
Like,
be bad on social media. Leave me alone.
there we go. Thanks for the graphic, Rodney. Like, nah, seriously, man. Like, and then to say I did it, y'all say I couldn't do it, like, and just totally cut your teammate off at the knees. Like, Anthony Davis is killing this year. Like, dude, like, come, man. Just go to somebody else, man. That's it. It's just irritating. But congrats to the Lakers.
Octavia?
Like you said though, we said you couldn't do it last year with the team you had then. Ain't nobody said nothing about when you got Anthony Davis, Rondo, Avery Bradley, Kuzma was hooping. Like, you got all of this help now. You should do it. Like, I don't understand. So, who are you talking about? Like, who hurt you as a child that you feel like you have to say that? Like, that makes no sense. Like, nobody said that. Like, a lot of people predicted it this year. Last year, not so much. When you actually had to like help the other people on your team and like, make them better, and you guys play well
You don't make
together.
people better?
Instead you were out there, trying to ship each person out, and you were the main reason they had so much turmoil in the daggone locker room, because you was out there trying to pick and choose who you wanted on your team. Like, this is dodgeball after school. So, yeah, I guess congratulations. I don't really want the Lakers to win. I'll be the first one to say it. Don't care. I would rather if there was a team in LA that would win.
On social media.
And you will be, what they say, blocked. Get out of my face. Anyway, I would rather the other team in LA win. Yep, right there. And my page is private, so it's like, no, I'm joking. But anyway, like, yeah, I don't care. I wish there was a way that they could lose a game and then lose the number one seed at this point, but mathematically we can't do that. But yeah.
But just one more thing. Like, LeBron fans have been telling me the regular season don't matter for how long now? Since 2011.
You made such a great point.
Now they clinched the number one seed in the regular season. That doesn't matter, right? So what are you excited about?
Look, man, cool story, bro. You clinched the first seed with one of the three best teams in the league. Cool story, bro.
Congratulations.
You did exactly what we thought literally two teams in your conference that play in the same building had a 50-50 chance to do. It is truly remarkable that one of the two teams one of you two that share the building did what we expected both of you to do. It's truly remarkable. Also, the fact that you're jumping out here with the eye, I'm just going to sit back calmly, reflect on how I felt this entire time, and wait for the moment that Anthony Davis, who's playing at an all-world level, even remotely has a mortal moment at a huge time, and then your whole base turns on Anthony Davis, arguably top 2 player in the league this year, and blames him for this. I will simply fall back, remind myself of this moment, probably find something to sip on and enjoy my life. I have nothing. Congratulations. Cool story, bro. Y'all won the West. You're in a bubble. I don't care. Let me know if you win the championship.
Not even playing in the Staples Center.
And if you do win the championship, I'm going to say, cool. Now you have 4. Cool story, bro. It doesn't impact me that much. I don't really mind. I'm probably going to look back and look at Anthony Davis's numbers and just giggle the whole way if he carries you to a title, because this is what we're going to do. Because you and your base had no issue saying that him carried two other really great players in his draft class and another arguably one of the best shooters of all time to championships. So by your logic, if AD does what AD did last night, this whole championship run, congratulations on being carried to a chip. Shout out to AD. I have nothing else to say.
And I'll just throw this in there. Yeah, congrats on that, but it's a lot of key people that have gotten in your way that were out this year. You know, I'm just saying, especially in the West. You know, there's a certain other team in California that's getting healthy, and they just send back, just they being quiet. That's giving you a lot of problems. And it's just so conveniently that the dude you really don't want to mess with, that they don't like bringing up, that's from the area back east. You know what I'm saying? So he can get healthy. You know what I mean? Because you ain't want no parts of that. You let Tristan down the island. That I never forget that. But I'm not, man. Look, man, just congrats. He ain't want no parts of that. You know that. He ain't want no parts.
Put his Twitter name up there too.
I don't got it to it. I'm off.
I mean, I got it. I'm just not going to respond.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty. So nah, it's just, look, man. Whatever, man. Go ahead, Wilson.
Like I said, man, cool story, bro. I don't know why we're talking about participation trophies. You're a really good team, heavy roster. We don't do this because that's essentially what this is, right? It's a participation trophy. That would be like the
championship experience. Danny Green, Rondo, all these people on the team with championship experience. You acting like Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, all these
you have top 5 picks.
You acting like you carrying a G League team, man. Come on, dog.
And again, that was my biggest thing is I would probably have my response would be totally different if it was, man, look at what we did. Literally, like, I'm not gonna lie, because it would have showed growth for me that he actually did the we thing. This, hey, look, man, they better win it all because y'all not gonna want to see me on here. I'm a very petty individual.
And then just brought on JR Dion Waiters too. Like, damn, dog.
I heard Dion Waiters was a top 5 pick.
The J.R. Smith, the GOAT need a lot of help. I'm just go ahead, man. Let me see. Y'all trying to pull me in. I've been good. I've been trying.
The what?
Octavia, apparently it's a popular word these days. It gets thrown in a lot of irrational discussions, and it's rapidly losing its meaning. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. I implore you to go over to finestmark.com, go over to mymonosports.com. Definitely follow us on social. Like we said earlier, we got a whole lot of other things that we're doing right now. The key to finding out about that, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, IG as well. I want to thank you guys for hanging with us. We'll see you next week. For those of you, for the other mediums that we have going on, we'll see some of y'all tonight, possibly. I don't know if I'm going to make it. Thank y'all for hanging with us. We'll see y'all next week. You've been watching The Focus TV.